It's Saturday already? Oh, this is going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. We've got a massive second giveaway of the holiday season. Also, we got some news about Adam Driver talking about his time with Star Wars, but we also got Dave Filoni coming out about Sabine Wren using the Force. Oh, this is going to be a good one, ladies and gentlemen. So let's dive right into all of it. What's up, guys? It's Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars, and yes, it's Saturday again, and that means this is the second holiday giveaway of the holiday season. We got 5 straight Saturdays, 5 straight giveaways. It's the holiday season, and we're giving back to the people who support the channel the most, the members. So if you are a member, which is only 99 cents, by the way, you get instant access to these giveaways and instant access to win awesome, cool rewards. Today, we got a pretty cool one, if I do say so myself. We got an awesome Funko Pop figure advent calendar. So if you open this thing up, oh, it opens in the back. If you open this thing up right here, each day of the month, and I'll get it to you as soon as possible, as soon as the 5th of the month, I believe I can get it to you. Look at the first 2 are already open. You get a new pop figure every day of the month until Christmas. And the first 2 looked like this. R2 with reindeer antlers and a snowman Darth Maul. Snowman Darth Maul. So you get these awesome, cool stuff if you are a member, and you will win this today. Perfect. Okay. So that's what's up for grabs today for the giveaway. It's going to be a very cool one, and I can't wait for that. We might even do 2 if I'm feeling so generous later on in this stream, but we'll figure it out. That'll happen later on in this stream. We had a lot to talk about today. Not Dave Filoni. Well, yes, Dave Filoni is talking about Sabine Wren using the Force and how fans got upset about that. We also have Adam Driver coming out and talking about Star Wars for the first time in a long, long time. And we got some other cool news to go over as well. It's too hot. Too hot. Feeling hot with this on. Might even put on my Christmas hat. Let's put on the Christmas. Should I put on the Santa hat? Should we put on the Santa hat? Give me a 1 into the chat if you want to see the Santa hat. And tell me how you're doing on this fine Saturday evening. How we doing, chat? Let me open up the chat so I can see what's going on. Jay, what's up, Jay? How we doing? Jay, did you see you got gifted a membership, by the way? So you could win tonight. I'm doing good. How are you? Tony, what's up? How we doing? All right. Let's see. Jay Skywalker made it to the live while watching the Clone Wars. Ooh, Clone Wars? That's sick. What's up, Jay? How we doing? We got 2 Jays in the chat. John Groom says, all good. That's good, John. That's good to hear. I'm putting the hat on anyway. I don't care what you guys say. I'm putting the hat on. I'm putting the hat on. Oh, much better. Much better. Now I'm feeling in the holiday spirit. Let's see. Let me close that out. Putting that up. Oh my God, this hat's enormous. Why is this Christmas hat so large? Big hat. Big hat. All right. Let's, perfect. Okay. Let's dive into this news. First of all, let's go there. Do what I want you to do. Perfect. Okay, cool. All right. Cool. Let's dive into this Adam Driver news. Okay, so Adam Driver has been talking some Star Wars. Now we know that the next Star Wars movie is supposed to be this Rey movie that will follow Rey 15 years after the events of Rise of Skywalker and will be the new Jedi Order. Now it's still up for grabs whether or not John Boyega is coming back to play Finn, whether or not Oscar Isaac's coming back to play Poe Dameron, and whether or not Adam Driver is coming back as Ben Solo, either as a Force ghost or somehow we'll bring him back from the dead. I don't really know. We'll figure it out. However, this is the first time that Adam Driver has really come out and talked about Star Wars in a long time. It's been a while. Keto, how we doing? Matthew, what's up? I'll get to your chat in just a second. Get to your chat in just 1 second. So let's dive into this news about Adam Driver talking about Star Wars, because he's talking about The Force Awakens a little bit here, but obviously he's not going to be asked about the Rey movie because Disney owns Hollywood, pretty much. But let me read Matthew's chat right here real quick. Kylo should only return as a prequel. Also, in the rumored movie for the guy who made Free Guy, I forget his name, Sean Levi. Oh, he should only... I get you. So Sean Levi, yeah, he's the director who did Free Guy, The Adam Project. He's doing Deadpool 3. We did talk about his rumored movie before, and it could be a prequel to to the sequel trilogy and could involve Kylo Ren because he's very close friends with Adam Driver. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Thank you, Matthew, for bringing that up. I almost forgot about that completely. But yes, Sean Levi is supposed to be doing a Star Wars movie, and he's good friends with Adam Driver, so it's possible that he could be doing a prequel movie like before the sequel trilogy. Ben Solo's maybe Fall to the Dark Side or something along those lines, where we could see Adam Driver come back and play the role. However, Adam Driver's not getting any younger. He's not getting any younger, and I think, as I eat this, I don't even know what I just ate. Found it on the ground. It's delicious. Adam Driver's not getting any younger, and doing a prequel with a older actor as he gets even older and older and older might be a little bit harder to do. Now, you could obviously, of course, deepfake the guy. You can do whatever you want at this point in time. But you might want to go with a younger actor for a prequel. That's what makes me think that we could be getting some Adam Driver in a post-sequel world. Ben Solo's death is a little shaky. It's a little weird, and people don't really, He disappears at the end of Rise of Skywalker. His body disappears, but he doesn't turn into a Force ghost because he's not standing there with Luke and Leia at the end of the movie. So what happened to him? Why did he disappear? Why? Why? We don't know. It's strange. And his death has a lot of mystery behind it. And I know a lot of fans would love to see him come back because he's a lot of fans' favorite character when it comes to that sequel trilogy. What's up, Austin? How we doing? Honey Badger, what's up, Honey Badger? It's been a while. John Groom, how we doing? All right. Austin says, I don't think the Rey movie will be good. Austin, I think you are probably in the majority there. I think a lot of fans aren't excited for that movie, to say the least. Actually, let's pull this up right off the bat. Let's do it. Let's pull this up. Let's say the Rey movie does happen, because it seems like it's going to happen at this point. Do you want... I'm going to put Kylo in the chat. We know it's Ben Solo, same guy. Kylo Ren in the Rey movie. Yes or no? You tell me. You tell me. Tony says, I want to see Adam as Kylo before The Force Awakens. Again, and you said de-age his own face. You could do that with some de-aging technology. That would work perfectly fine. However, the deepfake technology takes away one very crucial aspect to this whole thing, and that is acting. Now, of course, you can do acting through deepfake technology. We saw Luke Skywalker in the Book of Boba Fett, but what Adam Driver did with the character of Ben Solo in the sequel trilogy was give us this incredible performance of a guy who's really split down the middle. Between the scene with him and his father in the first movie and the last movie, there's a whole arc there. And Ben Solo is, it's pretty much undoubtedly the best character of that sequel trilogy, and it's because of Adam Driver's performance. Now, being able to perform through deepfake is going to be a lot more difficult. And you could make the argument, and I wouldn't disagree with you, that Hayden Christensen had quite the performance in Ahsoka, and they de-aged him a little bit there too. So it's possible. It's definitely possible to be done, where you could have a deepfake, like slightly deepfaked, just like Hayden Christensen was. Slightly deepfaked Ben Solo, Adam Driver performing, and it could be a prequel. I still am along the lines just because the Rey movie is what's coming next. It's literally the next thing to happen. I'm still on the fence of whether or not we'll see Ben Solo in that movie. But I by the way, this poll is at 100% of you guys want Ben Solo in that movie. 100%. That's crazy. We rarely see the 100% around these streams. But I get it. Kylo's the best character in the sequels, and if we're going to continue the sequels, we want that best character involved. John Groom says, maybe Disney will hire Elon Musk to star in the Rey movie. I have Elon Musk drawn in big letters on my notebook right here because we got to talk about what Elon said. We'll do that later on in the stream. Somebody remind me later on in the stream to talk about Elon Musk because that is insane. The amount of power this guy has is quite frankly pretty crazy. He does own Twitter now, or X, formerly known as Twitter, and he's got a lot of power with that. This whole Disney versus Elon thing is not going away anytime soon, and pretty interesting. So somebody remind me as we get past the Adam Driver news to go to Elon next, because that'll be fun. Honey Badger, how we doing? And bring back Ben. Yes, he says, of course. Honey Badger says, what's up, Mike? I know I can't make the Tuesday and Thursday streams anymore because I'm in school. Don't worry about it, Badger. I appreciate you being here. I know the Saturday streams are probably a lot easier for many of you guys to attend, and that's perfectly okay. I appreciate you all being here. Yeah. Bosco, what's up, Bosco? Says, hello. How we doing? Austin Snow says, or likely a young Ben Solo in Tales of the Jedi. You could always do Luke's Jedi Temple or even Ben Solo as a young Jedi in Tales of the Jedi, but I feel like that's kind of a waste at this point. You want to do those characters in live action first, like the Luke's Jedi Temple show or Ben Solo's Fall show, before you kind of expand on the characters in animation. The same way you have the prequel trilogy first, and then you expand on it in animation with the Clone Wars. Same thing with the original trilogy in Rebels. Same thing with the characters of Ahsoka Tano and Count Dooku not Ahsoka Tano, but Count Dooku was first introduced in live action, and those Tales of the Jedi episodes really expand upon his character. So, Matthew says, honestly, I want Luke, Leia, and Han recast. The deepfake is video gamey and doesn't help a performance. At some point, just animate it. Makes no sense to do it in live action. Oh, at some point, just animate it. It doesn't make sense to do it in live action. We always debate this in every chat, and I'm going to ask again. Do you guys want to deepfake or recast Luke, Leia, and Han? Because I want more Luke. We need a Luke Skywalker Jedi Temple show. We need that 20 to 25 years explored. Big time. And we need the three of them on screen together. Dave Filoni's movie is going to involve Luke, Leia, and Han. They're probably going to be on the screen at the same time because the sequels failed to do that, and Dave Filoni loves to do things that the sequels failed to do. But deepfake costs a lot of money. The deepfake has gotten very, very good lately if you look at Hayden Christensen in Ahsoka. But now you're deepfaking Carrie Fisher, who's no longer alive. And you're deepfaking Harrison Ford, who's 80. And you're deepfaking Mark Hamill, who's probably, 70-something. It's going to be difficult. However, if you recast the characters, now you have a whole nother issue of some fans saying that's not my Luke Skywalker, that's not my Han Solo, that's not my Leia Organa, and you could end up with some sort of issue like they had with the Solo movie. The Solo movie didn't make a lot of money. It didn't. And you could point to many different things. The Last Jedi was released right before it. But one of the main things is Harrison Ford's not Han Solo in that movie. He's not. He's not Han Solo in that movie. And that really hurts it. Harrison Ford is Han Solo. Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker. Carrie Fisher is Leia Organa. Sometimes it's just like that. Hayden Christensen is Anakin Skywalker. Sometimes there's just roles like that. Look at even outside of Star Wars. Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Chris Evans is Captain America. There's just some roles that just will forever be that actor. And recasting it would not only anger a lot of fans, but it would kind of just take you out of it. Now, I'm a huge fan of the Solo movie. I think that Alden Ehrenreich, the guy who was recast as Han Solo, did a fantastic job. But I want Harrison. I wanted to. Have you seen? Tell me in the chat. Have you seen the deepfakes people have done with the Solo movie where they've made Alden look like Harrison? It looks so much better. Like, these actors have become these characters, and Marcus makes a great point. Daniel Radcliffe is Harry Potter. That's another great example. It is tough to do. It is very, very tough to do to recast these characters. They're three very iconic characters, around for 45 years. 46 years now, coming on, or past 46 years. 46 years. And recasting them is going to anger a lot of people. And it seems, as of right now, it seems like they really don't want to recast at all. Like, Luke Skywalker hasn't been recast yet. He's been in The Mandalorian Season 2. He's been in the Book of Boba Fett. He's probably going to show up in some other stuff. Hayden Christensen deepfaked in Ahsoka. Like, they've gone away from the recast because of Solo. Solo lost them millions of dollars. And that's when they said, no more recast, we're going deepfake. But I gotta know what you guys think. I gots to know. But before I read your chats, we gotta get into this Adam Driver news before I get way too off topic. You guys know I get off topic really quickly. How could you do this to me? How could you do this to me? We're getting into the Adam Driver news first. So before I read any of your chats, because if I do, I'll get way off topic, we're getting into this Adam Driver stuff first. All right. This is coming from The Hollywood Reporter. I believe it's in an interview with CNN. I could be wrong, but... So, Adam Driver on his Star Wars scene that he will never live down. Somebody reminds me about that every single day. He's talking about The Force Awakens, but let's dive into it. All right. Adam Driver has revealed that... should I zoom in a little bit here? Let's zoom in a little bit more. That's much better. Much better. Adam Driver has revealed that the scene he can't live down, even nearly a decade after 2015's Star Wars The Force Awakens was released. Holy shit, guys. It's almost 2024, and that means it's been 9 years since the release of The Force Awakens. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. That is so crazy. Oh my, 9 years? Whew, okay. In a recent interview on Max's Who's Talking to Chris Wallace, I have no idea what this is, guys. Don't even, just, okay. The host mentioned the film's shocking ending where Driver's villain, Kylo Ren, kills his father, Harrison Ford's Han Solo. To which the Ferrari star responded, somebody reminds me about that every day. He's the guy who killed Han Solo, and a lot of fans hate him for that. After Wallace asked if he was being serious, Driver responded, "Not every day, but yeah, it used to be more, sorry. But now it's probably once a month someone will let me know that I killed Han Solo." A lot of people's hero. Though Solo's death left. Try saying that 10 times fast. Stop. No, just stop now and try saying that 10 times fast. Do it. Do it. You won't? All right. Though Solo's death left fans divided, it helped establish Ren's place in the Star Wars sequels as he battled between the light and the dark sides of the Force. Driver went on to recall what it was like filming the scene with Harrison Ford, which wasn't necessarily tough, but very emotional actually. Of course it was emotional. You're killing off one of the most iconic characters in all of cinema in the first movie of a sequel trilogy. Harrison was so generous and contemplative, sure, and to me, that was a great moment on set, even though it was his death. So obviously Harrison has been wanting Han Solo to be killed off since the 80s. He literally wanted Han Solo to die in Empire Strikes Back. This has been well documented. Maybe it's a joke, maybe it's not, but Harrison has really wanted Han Solo to die. And George Lucas always said, you know what doesn't sell? Dead Han Solo action figures. So he kept him alive through the entire trilogy, and then in the sequels he dies off in the first movie. The House of Gucci actor, they're talking about Adam Driver. I just called him by all of his other names. Adam Driver, he was in The House of Gucci, he was in Ferrari, he's in some other movies like that. So they always refer to him as a different movie that he was in. So Adam Driver previously told GQ in 2017 that he felt sick to his stomach during the premiere of Star Wars The Force Awakens as he awaited the audience's reaction to the dramatic twist ending. It is a pretty damn good ending. For the amount of shit that the sequel trilogy gets, and deservingly so, The Force Awakens is pretty damn good. And now, of course, that probably goes different for everybody because you cared a lot more about Han Solo's death than others. To me, Han Solo was always a good character. He was never really my favorite character. His death felt very meaningful, especially to Kylo Ren's character arc and all that other stuff. So it felt deserving and felt good because obviously we know Harrison didn't want to play the character anymore. The people behind me, when the scroll started, were like, oh my God, it's happening. Immediately, I thought I was going to puke, Adam Driver said. I was holding my wife's hand, and she's like, You're really cold. Are you okay? Because I knew what was coming. I kill Harrison. And I didn't know how this audience of 2,000 people, where the hell did they watch this? 2,000 people were going to respond to it, you know? Which, of course, makes sense. Okay, well, that's the end of the article. Okay. So what's interesting is this whole entire article, now we have another one, but this whole entire article is talking about him killing Han Solo. Now, they don't once ask, will you ever come back to Star Wars? They ask everybody this. Every single actor who's ever played a role in Star Wars, they're like, oh, you got to be back in Star Wars? Everybody. They've asked John Boyega. They asked Daisy Ridley. They asked all the OGs. They asked Ewan McGregor for decades, or I guess a decade. They asked him for a whole decade. They were like, are you ever going to come back to play Obi-Wan Kenobi? And he'd always be like, yeah, you know, I want to, but whatever. They didn't even ask Adam Driver if he's coming back to Star Wars. Now, we know that Disney controls the press. They do. They control the press. They control what the press is able to ask. They control what comes out from the press. So if they're trying to keep Ben Solo's return, or Kylo Ren's return, or Adam Driver's return to Star Wars a secret, they're not going to allow that question to even be asked. They're not. And that's kind of what I'm getting from this interview. We're going to, that was of course only a few quotes from the interview, but we're going to get into another article here as well, where it explores this a little bit more. But it's an extensive interview, and he gets asked about Star Wars a whole lot, but never once is it, are you coming back to Star Wars? Which is very strange. Ian says, what's up, Ian? I'd rather have Ben come back than Finn. I think you're going to have both, because I think Finn's probably more likely, because, of course, John Boyega and Rey are friends. John Boyega, his character's supposed to be Force sensitive, Finn, that is. That was the secret he was trying to tell Rey through the entire Rise of Skywalker. But he never got it out, I guess. I think Finn is very likely to be in the Rey movie as a Jedi, I would hope, to kind of redeem that character. I think Ben Solo is less likely. Less likely for sure. Let's dive into this other article before I get distracted again by the chat. We'll do this one, and then I'll check out the chat, and then I'll check your chat out, okay? Let's do it. Adam Driver reflects on joining Star Wars and filming Han Solo's death scene. So it's going to be a lot of similar stuff here, but there is a little bit different. It's been 2 years since the last time Adam Driver spoke publicly about Star Wars. That's insane. 2 years since he's spoken publicly about Star Wars. 2 years. He's been in multiple movies over the course of those 2 years. Never once was he asked about Star Wars, and never once did he talk about Star Wars. That's insane. All Mark Hamill still talks about to this day is Star Wars. Now, of course, the reception of the original trilogy versus the sequel trilogy is vastly different. Vastly different. But he is still a cemented piece of the puzzle when it comes to the Star Wars saga, or Skywalker saga, I should say. And he should be getting asked about this every single interview he's ever in. But it's been 2 years. Which is not really surprising considering how much the actor enjoyed doing the press tours for his movies. Heavy sarcasm, of course. However, Driver recently had a chat with CNN's Chris Wallace about his decision to join the Star Wars franchise 10 years ago. Time flies. That's insane. And also his time on set filming the key scene where he kills Han Solo. When asked how he felt about the idea of being a part of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, Driver says, I took it seriously and thought about it a lot. I was very on the fence. I was aware that it was a great opportunity, and I didn't want to be in it and be bad. A lot of people are going to watch it. I was a fan of those movies before. So obviously he's a fan of Star Wars. Who isn't a fan of Star Wars? But he does bring up a good point here. I would be nervous as balls. You're coming into this massive franchise, and your goal is to be the next big villain. You're supposed to be up there with Palpatine and Vader, and you're supposed to be able to be this guy, the grandchild of the chosen one. it's a big, big task. And Adam Driver, I must say, did a fantastic job with it. But he does talk about how hesitant he was to even take the role because it's a great opportunity, but he knows what Star Wars is all about. And he knows that fans take this shit really seriously. That's why I'm sitting here in a Star Wars sweater, in a Star Wars background with a Yoda and some more Yodas, and I'm doing a giveaway today. And all this is Star Wars themed because of this goddamn freaking franchise. So this is actually from Rise of Skywalker. I don't know why that's there. Wallace then brought up the scene where Kylo Ren kills his legendary father, Han Solo. Driver recalled what it was like knowing that the scene was coming up when they're shooting. This is what he said here. Yeah, someone reminds me about that every day. Well, I'm used to it. It used to be more, but it's more than like whatever, a month. We read that in the last one. I remember shooting that day, and I didn't feel that at all. Obviously, John Williams wasn't playing in the background, and it was very emotional. Actually, shooting with Harrison, we already read that. So he talks about John Williams obviously not playing in the background. John Williams is the guy who composed all of Star Wars' soundtracks in the originals, prequels, sequels, Solo, Rogue One, and that's it. He didn't do Mando. He didn't do Book of Boba Fett. He didn't do the shows. But he did all the iconic Star Wars music that we know and love today. And of course, his music changes every scene drastically. It makes it so much better. His music is Star Wars as much as lightsabers and the Force and the characters themselves are Star Wars. His music really makes Star Wars what it is. And of course, the music in the scene of Han Solo's death is going to be pretty damn emotional. So when they were shooting it, it didn't have that involved. Adam Driver is currently promoting Ferrari. Has anybody seen this movie, or is it out yet? Oh, which debuts on Christmas Day. Okay, so nobody's seen it. Is anybody planning on going to see this? I've seen the trailer for it. It doesn't look terrible, but I mean, I'm not that interested. That doesn't necessarily, mean we'll get more Star Wars talk from him in the upcoming weeks, of course. He's been working on a regular basis over the past few years and only does interviews occasionally. And even more rarely, he talks about his turn as Kylo Ren. He really doesn't like to talk about it because, of course, how the sequel trilogy went, but also he's just probably trying to, I guess, distance himself. It's been a few years now. The fandom's kind of coming around. It's a whole, they've simmered down, let's say. Yeah. What is this? Okay. The next in the pipeline, he has Francis Ford Coppola's sure, whatever, and is reportedly in negotiations to star as Michael Mann's Heat 2. So Adam Driver's getting a ton of jobs. Obviously, Star Wars really pushed him over the edge. He's a big name in Hollywood now. It's great. It's fan-freaking-tastic. He deserves it. He's a great actor. But he's getting all these different roles. Does he have time to come back to Star Wars? We'll see. Will his return as Ben Solo or Kylo Ren, or will he return in the future? At this point, it seems extremely unlikely. Putting aside Adam Driver's own apprehensions about coming back to that role, he had definitely ending. He had that definitely ending, of course, because his character died. The only place for such a return would be in a new Jedi Order era film starring Daisy Ridley, a story that Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy has said will not feature many Force ghosts, so don't hold your breath to see more Ben Solo just yet. Now, of course, I'm always on the lines of let's see some more Ben Solo. He's the best character from the sequel trilogy. If you're going to continue sequel trilogy arcs, keep going. Thanks, Jordy, for subscribing. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. And yeah, so that's the end of that article. So I want to know what you guys think about this. Now, I'm not saying this means that he's coming back. That's not what I'm saying at all. More of what I'm saying is it's very interesting that they didn't ask him about a return at all. They're never like, oh, are you going to come back to that role ever? Not once. Not a single person. So it's very interesting to see because you could do prequel stuff with him. You could have him come back as a Force ghost. You could have him come back from the dead. You could literally do anything with his character. And it's fascinating to me that in 4 years since the release of Rise of Skywalker, he's rarely ever talked about or been asked about Star Wars. It's very, very interesting. All right, let me scroll up on the chat and let me catch up on you guys. We got a bunch of people in the chat tonight. I'm loving it. I'm telling you, I got to get that McDonald's sponsorship. The amount of times I say I'm loving it per stream is insane. Somebody contact McDonald's and get on that. All right, let's see. Holy crap, you guys are the best. Let me scroll up. Tony says, Adam, like Mando, just wears a mask for the whole film. That's true, but, I mean, if it's going to be a Rey movie, he's not going to wear the mask because he's taken off and destroyed it. If it's going to be a prequel movie, you're going to have to see his fall, so you won't really see his mask, or he won't be in the mask for the majority of the film. So it's going to be hard. You'd have to deepfake him still a lot. Keto says, I think a young Palpatine is definitely a possibility. Young Palpatine? Like a movie or a show? Either way, I'm in. Sign me up for that. That'll be in The Acolyte. What will be in The Acolyte, Austin? I don't know what you're talking about. Matthew says, there are people that want Han as Ingruber? Want Han as Ingruber when they already have Alden for Heir to the Empire. Who's Ingruber? I'm fine either way. If it's not Harrison Ford, deepfake it. Harrison Ford deepfaked. It'll be fine. So Matthew's really on board of the recast bandwagon. Ian is too. Recast, please. I hate deepfake. Here's my thing with deepfake. I think Luke Skywalker in Book of Boba Fett was amazing. And it's like 30 minutes. He's probably on screen for at least 20. It's fantastic. Then you have it backed up by Hayden Christensen as Anakin in Ahsoka, and that's fucking a masterpiece. So that, again, makes me love the deepfake even more. So until the deepfake really proves me wrong, I'm okay with the deepfake. Matthew says, Carrie's daughter could easily play Leia. As a recast, I don't think so. Have you? Let's look up Carrie Fisher's daughter. Carrie Fisher's daughter. Billy Loud, whatever the hell. I just don't think she looks nearly enough like her mom. Like, she can't play Leia because she's not close enough, you know? Let's open this up. I just don't think she looks the same, you know? Like, you have to have somebody who looks like exactly the same or very, 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 very close. And this is not it. That's just not it. I think Billy's probably a good deepfake candidate to be under the mask, but Ian says the only actor fans seem to be okay with for Luke is Sebastian Stan. That's true because he looks unbelievably similar to him. Sebastian Stan looks so, it's like eerily similar. Like, it's insane. It's really, really crazy. Anthony, what's up, Anthony? Says, Mike, the biggest problem is this. Supposedly, The Rise of Skywalker was meant to be the end of the Skywalker saga. Very true. So why another Rey film with her faking the Skywalker name? That's a good question. I think, and here's my answer, I think the Rey movie is a beginning. It's the beginning of a new, I wouldn't say saga, but something new. I think it's probably going to be the start of a new trilogy. They just haven't announced that yet because they want it to be a surprise, because at Star Wars Celebration in 2025, I'm sure we're going to get the announcement of the title of the Rey movie, and it'll probably go on screen. It'll be the Star Wars. It'll look like this, Star Wars, and then these two will split apart, and then the title will come in the middle, whatever the title is, and then people will go crazy, and then it'll be a big pause, and then it'll fade, and it'll just go Episode 1. And people will lose their shit because it'll be confirmed to be a trilogy. It'll be a new saga. It'll be a beginning. And that's what it will be. And that's why I think Rise of Skywalker is still the end of that Skywalker saga. I still think that we're not going to see, it's not, the Skywalker saga is over. I do think that's the case. I think you'll have projects inside the Skywalker saga, like the Mandoverse, like Bad Batch, like all the Andor, stuff like that. But it's over. It's definitely over. And I think the Rey movie is the beginning of something new. Yeah. Harrison Ford is Indiana Jones. That's true. Connery is 007? No. 007 or James Bond is a character that can be multiple people, and people are okay with that. Like Daniel Craig is a fantastic James Bond. Connery was too. Austin Snow says, I heard Harrison Ford hated playing Han Solo. I don't know if he hated playing the character. I think he just wanted him to be killed off more so that he could get other jobs, almost. You know? I don't think he hated playing the character. The character made him what he is. Of course, he had Indiana Jones at the same time, too, but, you know. Jay Skywalker says, I agree. No recast. All right, I think we got to pull this up then. Should we pull it up? Give me a 1 into the chat if you want to pull this up. Recast or no recast. We do it all the time, but I love it because it's always a very mixed bag. Matthew says, William Shatner is Captain Kirk and Nimoy is Spock. I'll give you Nimoy is Spock, but I mean, Shatner is a good Kirk, but you got, what the hell's his name? Can't think of his name. But you also have Chris Pine, too. Chris Pine as well. Anthony says, Mike, just like probably 50% of the Star Wars fandom likes/loves/tolerates the sequel trilogy, while 50% hates it or rejects it. How do you make a big budget Rey movie then? Guaranteed lost profits. Well, it's not guaranteed lost profits, first of all, because it's a Star Wars movie, and second of all, if you market it correctly. If it's the return of Finn and we're actually going to do him correctly, if you tease out maybe Ben Solo being in the movie, if you have a good plot teased out in the trailer, because let's be honest, we're going to dissect the fuck out of whatever trailer comes out. Like absolutely dissect it piece by piece, by frame, and it's got to be good. And it's got to tease a lot of stuff. A villain, it's got to tease what this new Jedi Order looks like. It's been 15 years since The Rise of Skywalker, so it has to show some stuff that we don't really expect yet. It's got to really grab fans' attention because, like you said, a lot of people hate the sequel trilogy, absolutely hate the sequel trilogy. And anything that involves characters from there, like Rey and others, are just going to neglect it. They're going to completely neglect it and just cast it aside. So they got to draw in a lot of attention for this movie, for sure. They got a few years to figure it out, but they got to do it, and they got to do it quickly. They got to have a good villain. They got to maybe connect it to even like the Mandoverse story to get those fans over. They got to do it, and they got to do it well. Ian says, Mark Hamill said he's done playing Luke. He didn't say he's done. He more said like he didn't... He'll come back to play Luke. Let's put it that way. He just did like a few years ago in Book of Boba Fett. He's going to come back. He literally just did a commercial as Luke Skywalker like 8 months ago. Not even a year ago. So I don't think he's going anytime soon. Matthew says, Mark Hamill will always be Luke and the Joker, but he gave his blessing to recast. Just do it. Well, then again, you come across another issue, which is Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker, but Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, and now you're trying to recast him in between these two time periods? So you're going to have a new Luke Skywalker in between this that leads to the other thing. So they're going to have a Mark Hamill Luke Skywalker, a new Luke Skywalker for all of these years, and then Mark Hamill Luke Skywalker again. It just doesn't really make sense, you know? Marcus says, I have a counter argument, but I guess it made sense there. Patrick Stewart was Professor X, and then McAvoy came in for me as Professor X. That's true. The X-Men all got recast, except for Wolverine. That is true. They got away with that. 100%. All right, guys, it's come that time on the stream, about 40 minutes in, where this hat is getting itchy. I might put it on again, but that is a pain in the ass. Ow. Itchy hat. That's what that is. It's an itchy hat. I don't know how Santa does it. I don't know how he wears that thing all year. It just doesn't make sense to me. It does make sense. Jeez. Okay, here we go. Thanks for the hearts, by the way, guys. I appreciate that. And smash a freaking like on this video. How many likes we got on this? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Only 9 likes? Have you lost your mind? Hopefully that worked. Okay. Matthew says Dial of Destiny was worse than Solo, or so even Harrison being a draw, as he was in The Force Awakens, is in doubt. Yes, but Harrison as Han Solo in a Solo movie, deep faked, people are gonna line up in literally line up down the freaking road to see that movie. And Dial of Destiny is a completely different scenario because Lucasfilm, it's 9 years later or 8 years later, and Lucasfilm's at a way worse spot. Salty Texas Ranger, what's up, Salty? Says, that's an understatement. Solo's death left fans divided. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's an understatement, but I don't know. He had to die eventually, and I think his death was meaningful. I think Luke and Leia's death were not. A bad idea to do a prequel after a character is killed, as we saw with the Black Widow. That is true, but there is many other examples of it being a good thing, i.e. Darth Vader and Palpatine and Obi-Wan and every character who dies in the original trilogy that's in the prequel trilogy. So there's cases of it being bad and cases of it being good, of course. Andrew, what's up? Andrew says, unfortunately, I can't watch it live, but I want to pop in and say, hey, thanks, Andrew. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Tony says, Kylo Adam Driver, in a way, also killed Luke. I mean, in a way, but not really. And he also killed his mom, I guess, if you're going to say that. Salty says, actually, you might say he killed a little of all of us. I mean, yeah, you could say that. I'd rather have Ben come back than Finn. I agree with that, but I think Finn is more likely. Yeah. Matthew says, Luke sacrificed himself to save Leia. I'm sure when that was written, Carrie was supposed to have a major role in episode 9, not just lie down and die like Yoda. Yeah, that's true. Carrie Fisher's death, of course, was a big sort of Band-Aid, or sorry, it was a big cut that needed to be covered by a Band-Aid in episode 9. And of course, I'm sure Carrie Fisher was supposed to have a way bigger role in episode 9. But, you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Ian says, to be honest, Kylo was a whiny emo kid, and Finn was annoying too. Kylo played the whiny emo kid for a reason, you know? It's the same as like Luke Skywalker in A New Hope being whiny. Uncle Owen! He's a whiny loser, because it's called a character arc. He goes from being the whiny loser on the farm on Tatooine to becoming a Jedi Knight by by Return of the Jedi. And Adam or Kylo Ren goes on a very similar journey. He's a whiny baby in the first movie, and by the end of it, he comes back to the light. Honey Badger says, Finn is definitely my favorite character from the sequels. Finn, then Kylo. Finn's up there for me, but Kylo's definitely way higher. Anthony says, I'd rather the entire trilogy be retconned, erased, or ignored moving forward. Maybe Adam Driver has talked about returning since the character returning since he died, and the trilogy has become infamous. You lost me on that second half, but the trilogy is never going to be retconned or ignored or whatever you want it to be. It's just not going to happen. It's always going to exist, and we're kind of just going to have to deal with that, you know? Brittany, what's up? Brittany says, as long as the Rey movie is good, do it. I agree. I think the Rey movie, it has a chance to be good. Now, it's not the first thing that I wanted to come out from Star Wars since the sequel trilogy, the first movie, I should say. I think Dave Filoni's movie should have probably come out first, but if the Rey movie's going to happen, and it's happening, guys, it's going to happen, then make it good. That's all I can ask, is make it good. Because if it's good, then nobody's going to argue, nobody's going to complain, and nobody's going to have two shits to say about it, because it will be good. If it's not good, then you're opening the floodgates. You're literally opening the floodgates, because you made the first movie since the sequel trilogy a sequel movie with the sequel characters, and you made it not good. And that's going to be a disaster. So if you make it good, it's good, and nobody can say diddly squat about it. That's all you got to do. Make it good. I agree, Brittany. Well said. Salty Texas Ranger says, they had a year to fix The Last Jedi when it came to Carrie Fisher's death, and some twit at at Lucasfilm named Kathleen Kennedy said, nah, it'll be all right. Just kill off Luke, and no one will notice. I don't know. Yeah. Carrie Fisher did die. When did Carrie Fisher die? Carrie Fisher's death. Carrie Fisher died on December 27th of 2016. December 27th of 2016. Release of The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi was released 1 year later, December 15th of 2017. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Because Rogue One came out in 2016, right? Are we right? Are we right? So, Last Jedi came out in 2017. 1 year later after Carrie Fisher died. So they knew Carrie Fisher had passed away for a long, long time. So they knew what they were getting into with episode 9. I will give you that, for sure. Yeah. Long live the Supreme Leader. Snoke. I want to see some backstory on Snoke, okay? Snoke is a cool character, and I get he's just a clone that Palpatine was using as a puppet, but he still is his own being, you know? So I want to see some Snoke backstory, and I'd love to see it, for sure. Ian says, Star Wars Meg made a good video about 1981 fan reaction to The Empire Strikes Back, saying that it was awful and had killed Star Wars for them. Really? I have not seen any of that, but that makes sense to me. I mean, Star Wars fans are always going to complain. One way or another, you're going to have a portion of the fandom that doesn't like something. That's just how it's going to be. So you can't try to please everybody because you're not going to. You want to make good content for good content's sake instead of trying to please the majority of people. And that's what the sequels tried to do, is just please the people. You look at episode 8, which kind of just went its own way, did its own thing, and made everybody angry. And then episode 9 was just trying to please everybody, and it was a disaster. So, and I'm definitely sure that in 1981, people complained a lot about Empire Strikes Back. I mean, it's a very different film from the first one. It's darker. It's the bad guys win. Like, it's a lot. It's definitely, I can see where a lot of people are angry about it, but it is still the second best Star Wars film ever. So they're just stupid and dumb. Salty says, the Rey movie doesn't need to be good. It needs desperately to be excellent. And I don't see how it could possibly achieve that goal. Well, there's many different ways that it could achieve that goal. It could just be a great story. It could start off a new trilogy in a very, very cool way. And there's many different ways you could go about this. You could go with the Force Kids storyline where Rey has the twins and all that stuff. Or you could go completely opposite. You could go, Rey has a new Jedi Order. She's not really even like the main character of the movie. Her students are a brand new cast of Jedis. There's probably like 20 of them or something. Finn is more of a main character than Rey is. There's a new cool threat, and the new cool threat has to be a pretty damn cool new threat. That's for sure. And you just got to keep going from there and build the groundwork for something fantastic. Because you're right, it does have to be good and excellent. It needs to be that, because a lot of fans are going to reject it if it's not. I agree. 100% I agree. Yeah. Anthony says, I meant Driver hasn't talked about returning because Boyega and Isaac are either very are uninterested. Well, yeah, John Boyega has spoken freely about his time with Star Wars for sure, and Oscar Isaac has a little bit. He said he's willing to come back. That's something he has said. Salty says, Harrison was dying to kill Han Solo off for decades. That is true. For sure. That is true. Yes. Matthew says, Johnny is amazing. John Williams, he's talking about. John is amazing. The best movie composer of my entire lifetime. Brings all Lucas and Spielberg films to life. That's true. So if you guys don't really know, John Williams is the GOAT, and he's done every film that you know, soundtrack like Star Wars, of course, you know all those dum 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 dum, or the Force theme, all of it, literally the entire soundtrack. But even like do 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 Jaws, of course. He did Jurassic Park. He did some of the early Harry Potter stuff. Pretty much every good soundtrack in a movie in the 80s, 90s, and even into the early 2000s is John Williams. Yeah. Anthony says, at this point, with Kathleen Kennedy very wrongly choosing to make the next big thing given into the movie theaters, this movie needs to be life-changing, and it's not going to happen. I disagree with you guys. I think this movie needs to be good and probably close to great, but it just needs to be good. It needs to be good. That's it. It just needs to be good. Holy crap, Heat 2? What is Heat? I feel like it's very familiar. Heat the movie. Oh, yeah. Okay. They're making a Heat 2? That is kind of crazy. That is kind of crazy. And Adam Driver's going to be in it? That's kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. Dominic, what's up? Yo, yo, yo. Ian says, Liam Neeson didn't return for so long because he thought The Phantom Menace nearly killed his career because of the backlash that it got. That's also true. The sequel trilogy has some crazy backlash, and a lot of those characters probably don't want to return to Star Wars because of that backlash. John Boyega and what's the girl who played Rose Tico? What's the actress's name? It's a like a three name, you know? Like a 3-name name, like a Robert Downey Jr. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but those two specifically probably don't want to come back at all. Like what that did to their personal lives and just their careers in general was not good. It was not good at all. So yeah, and Liam Neeson was probably along the same lines, but he did come back eventually. Matthew says, I still have a 2 Star Wars double album vinyl of Star Wars and Empire, and to think he also scored Raiders of the Lost Ark and Superman, and much later Jurassic Park. Who else has so many Oscars and nominations? Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I mean, John Williams is the GOAT. There's no doubt about that. Kathleen Kennedy won't be happy until Star Wars is a Force ghost. This whole Kathleen Kennedy wants to drive drive Star Wars into the ground, I just find is stupid. She's the president of the company. She's trying to make money. She's trying to save her own legacy. She's trying to do all this stuff. Of course, she's not trying to purposely destroy Star Wars. She's just doing it unknowingly. Tony says, so is Adam Driver stuck as the character of Kylo? Can he act as another character? Well, his other characters in other movies have been pretty good, but all I see when I look at his face is Kylo Ren. So to me, no, he's always Kylo Ren, but to other people, I'm sure he can be something else. And in a lot of his movies, actually, he wears a lot of makeup and stuff so that he doesn't even look like himself. Matthew says, Kennedy hires the writers and directors. The disconnect is the creative one. She isn't George Lucas. That's true, but even George Lucas hired directors and creatives, but he was involved big time on all things that were being created. And that's why it's huge that Dave Filoni got this promotion a few weeks ago, because now he's involved with everything that goes on. Yeah. Ing Gruber is a Harrison Ford impersonator who was perfect for the role of Han Solo in a recast. Oh, really? That's pretty cool. Recast. Give me Sebastian Stan already. I don't know. Sorry, guys, but Carrie Fisher's daughter shares her features but doesn't look identical or close to her mom. I agree. Yeah, she's not the best fit for that. Millie Bobby Brown would be close enough for a recast of Leia. That's true. So with this all being said, I don't want a recast. However, if there is a recast, go Millie Bobby Brown for Leia, go Sebastian Stan for Luke, and stick with Alden. I liked Alden. Stick with Alden for Han. Yeah. Dominic says, the Skywalker saga is never over, but yes, the Rey movie is going to be a new saga. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be new. Matthew says, it's why Dave was elevated to the head of creative, and Kathleen Kennedy is delegating. But honestly, Dave isn't George, and I don't dislike him. And you don't dislike him? What? He's not George, but he's the best thing if you can't get George. We'll put it that way. John Groom says, if Anakin is now the father, then the Skywalker saga will live on forever. That's true. Like, the Skywalkers now become the gods pretty much, with Anakin. And the galaxy moves on. Yeah. Ben to Rey, haha, your grandson, or your granddad was named Sheev. Yes. All right, we'll pull this up. We're going to pull this up. We'll end the last poll. Brick Boy, what's up, Brick Boy? We'll end this last poll, which the math is not mathing, and I'm quite upset about that. But do you think that Kylo Ren will be in the Rey movie? 71% of you say yes, to 28% saying no, which doesn't math out correctly, but that's okay. We're going to start a new poll. Do you want Luke, Leia, and Han recast? Yes or no? You tell me. Recast or deepfake? All right. Where was I? Here we go. Anthony says, Mike, can us Star Wars fans be equipped for any more surprises post sequel trilogy? The only surprise that would have the right effect would be to erase the sequel trilogy. Anthony, I get it. I 100% get where you're coming from, but it's never going to happen. It's not being erased. They made billions of dollars. They're going to continue to make billions of dollars. And the next movie is a Rey movie. The characters are going to continue forever. It's not going anywhere. Friggins, what's up? How we doing? John says, Sylvester Stallone is Rambo and Rocky. That's a good one, too. Mark Wahlberg is Marky Mark. Yes. Yes, he is. Catherine, what's up, Catherine, says, maybe Rey is pregnant with a force, impregnated by the Force, like Shmi Skywalker. That's a possibility for sure. I think it would more likely be like Ben Solo's Force essence when he disappears in Rise of Skywalker goes into Rey. But this movie's 15 years after that. 15 years. So if that happened and she was like became pregnant on Exegol at that time, then these kids would be 14 years old. They'd be 14 years old. So they would be perfect age to kind of be the next generation of Jedi, kind of as younglings into older beings, you know? Wow. This poll's 50-50 right now. 50-50. We're split right down the middle right now. This is crazy. This is crazy. I'm glad I pulled this up, actually. John Groom says, what better way to introduce a recast than to have the original actors narrate a story from the past using the new actors, like the two roses in the Titanic? Oh, I get what you mean. So it's like the characters telling a story, and it's them as a recast. I would absolutely hate that. Hate it. So bad. Leave that out of Star Wars. No. And like Luke, Leia, and Han are telling stories around a fire. No. I would hate that. Salty says, what happened at the end of Rise of Skywalker? Kylo touches her Force eggs. Yes. I don't know. Honey Badger says, well, to be fair, they did it with Solo. OG then recast, and he was Solo in the sequels, like let Sebastian cook. That's true. They did recast Solo. There's no doubt about that. And it didn't do well. And that's why I think they're just not going to do the recast. Thanks, Dominic. I appreciate that. Matthew says, well, if it's like the scene in The Last Jedi with Luke before Episode 8, Mark Hamill could do it with simple de-aging. I was talking about a young Luke in a just after Return of the Jedi era whom Hamill can't play. But Matthew, they've already deepfaked that character. We already have him not only in one show, but multiple shows from Mando Season 2 to the Book of Boba Fett. And I think that is probably not the last we're going to be seeing of him. Again, no. OT, Mandoverse, PT, Cal Kestis, Battlefront, Star Wars Outlaws characters, Kathleen Kennedy and co. wants to turn the page and then create brand new characters. No cocktails. Yes, they want to create new characters, but they're also connected to the old ones. Even Cal Kestis is a youngling who survived Order 66. He's a Jedi. Even the Mandoverse is connected to both the prequels and the originals in very heavy ways. The wine makes Kylo more of a Skywalker. Anakin did it as well, and so did Luke. He wasn't very much like Han or Leia for that matter. That's true. Leia wasn't really whiny for a Skywalker. I'll give her that. Like when Vader loses his cool and chokes people, Kylo having impatience is baked in. That's true. Yeah, he is very... Adam played the character very well. He's perfect. I mean, that's the perfect way to portray this character. Mike, ironically, there is a Reddit post in fan website that renders a way better backstory for Snoke than Abrams, Johnson, and Lucasfilm Story Group concocted. Really? I've not seen that, but that sounds pretty cool because Snoke is a cool character, and I'd love to see more of him. Matthew says, the young people I watched the Phantom Menace with loved it. The people acting negative were my age. The kids loved Jar Jar, believe it or not. Of course they did. That's what it's made for. That's why Jar Jar was created as a character, because kids love him. Obviously. That's what people kind of just forget, is Star Wars was always made for kids, and it will always be made for kids. However, we're still grown-ass people, and we're still talking about it. We're still having fun with it because it's awesome. It's cool. It's Star Wars. It's the best freaking thing on the planet. But it's still made for kids. Dominic says, recast work well, honestly, but with all the technology advancements in this deepfake world, they are an amazing alternative. I agree with that. Yes, Han and Luke mainly. If, of course, as you know, I want Sebastian Stan for Luke Skywalker, but I need a new Han actor. I don't like the Alden guy, really. So you want a double recast for Han Solo? That would be insane. That would be insane. D.H. Harrison, he liked doing it on what the fuck's it called? Dial of Destiny. He likes doing it in Indiana Jones. Just do it. Honey Badger follows up and says, and they're about to do the same thing again with Childish Gambino's Lando show. True. That is true. That is true. But I think actually, yeah, that's true. Friggin says, Billy Lord for Leia. No, absolutely not. No. I refuse to let it happen. Brandon, what's up, Brandon, says, could we still get a Star Killer standalone movie starring Sam Witwer as Galen Merrick under Disney? Or no, because he's way too overpowered to return to canon? I love the question, but no. I definitely think you're never going to see that. A canon version of Star Killer is just not going to happen. Never. Derpy, what's up, Derpy? Says, what a stupid question. Oh, thanks. Or what is this dumb question? Technology is better. I mean, I agree with you. I think the technology is better. It resembles the characters enough to be the same. Anthony says, question, if this new Jedi Order movie gets made, how much of an effort do you think Dave Filoni will have on it to make it a palatable for all Star Wars fans? I think Dave Filoni will be heavily involved in the development of this Rey movie, and that's what excites me. I know he's going to be working on his movie at the same time, but I think that will even make it even cooler because I think he will tie his movie to the Rey movie in many different ways. And also, if there's something going wrong with the Rey movie, he's going to be there to step in and stop it. And that's what excites me. With Dave Filoni's new role, even the Rey movie gets elevated in my own head because he's involved in the creation of that. That's exciting. That's really, really exciting. Ian says, Harrison is in his 80s. I don't want him deepfaked while he's on a Zoomer frame. What? I don't know what that means, but yes, he is in his 80s. But he just deepfaked himself for Indiana Jones, and it came out pretty good from what I hear. I think. I don't even know. Didn't watch the movie, not gonna lie. Tony says, just being funny, you might say that Yoda was recast for the prequels and then got his old job back for the sequels. That's true. He was CGI'd. The original deepfake for Yoda in the originals. Matthew says the Lando movie, that is, if Han does appear, will be Alden if Lando ever gets made. That's true. We don't know if that will ever get made, but I don't think Han will be involved in that, honestly. I think where they left off in the Solo movie, those two characters don't see each other again until probably Empire Strikes Back. And Lando's got a lot of work to do because he goes from where we see him in Solo to the ruler of Cloud City. So, yeah. Honey Badger says, Alden really bothered me. I just didn't like him at all. Well, yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? Didn't like him, you didn't like him. What are you going to do? Mainly Minimal, what's up, says, I just watched The Last Jedi again, and Ryan was definitely trolling us. It feels that way, you know? It feels that way. Ian says, I really like Sam Witwer. I wish they'd give him the live-action role. Plus, he's hot. I mean, yeah, but I don't know. What are you going to give him? If not Starkiller, what are you going to give him? The trolling began with the Yo Mama joke, and it all went downhill from there. Yeah, the movie opens with the Your Mama joke. That's how bad that is. It opens with the Your Mama joke. RB says, sure, bro. NZ. Yes. I don't know what that means. Matthew says, I hope they dust off Rogue Squadrons and make that. Do it in the style of Rogue One, but with X-Wings and all the trappings. Depends on if Patty is still as a director or she gets replaced. Rogue Squadron would still be cool. I don't think that it will still happen. I don't even know when it would have taken place. Like, it would have had to be post Return of the Jedi, X-Wings of the New Republic, and maybe it would be like a Carson Teva movie now. Like, it would be the Rangers of the New Republic as a movie. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. It's a New Zealand's greeting. Oh, really cool. That's cool. Chur, bro. I'm gonna have to look that up. I don't believe you. I have no reason not to believe you, but if let's find out. Chur, bro. Meaning. Okay, here we go. We're gonna see if you're wrong, RB. Chur. Oh, he's right. He's right. I'm so sorry. I did not know. Chur. The meaning of chur is essentially thank you. You can use this classic Kiwi slang to show gratitude or appreciation. As example above, it can mean sweet as or that's awesome. I'll help you change your flat tray. What the hell is this language? That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. RB, what's up? From the New Zealand. How's it down there? How's the weather down there? Isn't it summer right now? That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. All right, now that we got a little bit more people in the chat, I have to tell you guys again, today we have the second giveaway of 5 giveaways every Saturday for the next, this is the second Saturday. So for the next 4 Saturdays, we're doing a giveaway every Saturday for the holiday season. Today's giveaway is this pop figure advent calendar. So it gives you a new mini pop figure every day of the month. You have to open them, like today's the 2nd of the month. So that one's open. And it gives you pop figures like these two behind me. R2-D2 with reindeer antlers and a Darth Maul snowman, which is pretty damn cool. So, yeah, if you want instant access to win this giveaway, which is happening tonight, it's only 99 cents to become a member of this channel and support the... Maul doesn't want to stand up. I got him. Okay, there we go. So this is pretty damn cool. This is pretty damn cool. I think it's pretty damn cool. So if you want to become a member of the people who love Star Wars and get instant access to that giveaway, also a members-only Discord and other stuff like that, then become a member today. It really helps support the channel, and we're doing a giveaway. We gave away 2 things last stream. Last Saturday. A Christmas shirt and a Christmas pop figure. Those have been delivered and received by the winners, John Groom and Sulfur Squirrel, who won those, and they really appreciated that, and it was very nice to see. And today we're giving away this. Next week there'll be another one every Saturday until Christmas. So that'll be very, very fun. Yeah. Yeah. So it's only 99 cents. So find it on the ground and come on. All right. Where was I? Oh, Arby's chur, bro. Matthew, I love that now. I'm going to start using that. Matthew says, I hope they does. I read that. Damn it. Sam Witwer needs to appear in live action Star Wars one day. I agree with that, Brandon. I hope he does. Aimed Punch, what's up? Aimed Punch says, all hail Rey Skywalker. How's everybody doing? I'm doing good, but I'm doing good, but it's Rey Palpatine. Catherine says, I would love to pick a droid story, R2-D2, within the Skywalker saga, I'm guessing you mean, for 60 years. The tales he would tell. Oh my God, an R2-D2 story, just like him describing all the events that he was present at. That would be hilarious. That's amazing. Matthew says, does Dawn of the Jedi happen with Dial of the Destiny flatlining? James Mangold, is a solid director. His filmography is better than most, but Disney cares more about money. That's a good question. Is Dawn of the Jedi still happening? As of right now, yes, it is. Even under this new leadership of Dave Filoni, it still is happening. And as far as we know, it's still James Mangold's movie. It seems like they're just going to neglect Dial of Destiny and pretend it didn't happen. Seems like that's what's going on. And that's great. I like James Mangold. He's a great director. He's done some fantastic movies. And I don't even think Dial of Destiny is his fault. So, yeah. RB says, it's pretty on right now, gotta say. Oh, it's pretty nice, you mean? It's 1 hour into your show. That is true, Tony. It's been but that's crazy. Brandon says, do you think Taika Waititi's untitled Star Wars will unite or divide the fandom? He uses a mix of action and comedy in his Thor movies. I think Taika Waititi's movie, which won't come out for a long time, I think at least 4, 5, 6 years. I think his movie, or maybe even longer than that, I think his movie will maybe help the fandom. Now, I don't think it will divide it even more. I'm sure some people will like it, some people won't like it. But now that Dave Filoni's in charge, or at least has a say in almost everything that happens, I mean, we're going to be in a good spot. And he's going to have kind of final say on everything, every decision that Taika Waititi makes. Taika also has experience with Star Wars. He worked on The Mandalorian. He's worked on all this other stuff. He's played a character in Star Wars with IG-11. He's very good. Very good. John, I really appreciate that. I do. I truly do. He said Elon Musk, and he reminded me. And we'll get to that Elon Musk thing as soon as I catch up on this chat. That's awesome. Okay. Thank you very much, John. But yes, Taika Waititi movie I think will help, but only time will tell. Honey Badger says, let's go, the people who love Star Wars giveaway. Yeah, we'll do the giveaway in a little bit here. Yeah. BR says, I trust Taika. Bro, he made the most successful film in New Zealand. Really? What is that? Oh, the new soccer movie? Is that what you're talking about? Or football? Is that what you're talking about? The last goal wins or first goal wins or something like that? What you talking about? Honey Badger says, if you don't mind me asking, where did you find this? Where did I find what? The pop figure advent calendar thing? Actually, I got it as a gift. So this one is mine, obviously. You wouldn't get a pre-opened one, obviously. I'll be sending you guys a nice brand new one. It won't have two taken out of it. But this one's mine. So I got this as a gift. Very nice. Very nice. And I know it's an advent calendar and it's already 2 days into December, but I can get it to you guys by, I believe, Tuesday. So whoever wins it, I can get it to you quick. John Kroop says, I was going to say if I win again, I will relinquish the prize, but an advent calendar is awesome, so F that. There you go, John. Ian says, I must admit that calendar is amazing. Thanks, Ian. The beginning of the Jedi and Sith Order would be amazing. I mean, they did it in Legends, but in the new canon, I'm sure the story would go in a different direction. Yeah, it would definitely be a little bit different, Matthew, but I think it's going to be pretty damn cool. I think it's going to be pretty damn cool. I mean, you go to the beginning of the Jedi and the Sith, you're going to come up with something pretty cool, especially with the creatives that they got going on now. RB says, Hunt for the Wilder People from Sam Neill. Hunt for the Wilder People? I've never seen that. Sounds pretty cool, though. Ian says, do we have to talk about Elon? I mean, no, but yes. Yeah. That's extremely amazing. I'm jealous. I mean, Honey Badger, you could win this, so don't be jealous. You could win. All right, let's get into this Elon Musk situation here, okay? So Elon was at this conference where, like, this is the conference of all conferences, where people who own businesses, CEOs, all these people are in the audience, and he's being interviewed about advertisements on X, formerly known as Twitter. And there's been some issues with advertising because some companies don't want to advertise on Twitter anymore because of some things that Elon has said. That's pretty much the gist of it. He said some shaky stuff in the past, and so, I mean, as many people, and not that the things that he said were wrong or right, I do not care, okay? Quite frankly, I don't care. It has nothing to do with the story, okay? But what happened was he was asked about whether or not he cares that these advertisers or companies took down their advertisements on his platform, and he says his response was literally, fuck you. That's what his response was. It was in quotations, go fuck yourself. He said it multiple times to the audience of the people that were taking their advertisements off his platform. He said, go fuck yourself, straight to their faces. And he literally called out Bob Iger specifically, because Bob Iger is one of the big players in this, Bob Iger being the CEO of Disney. He said, go fuck yourself to all these people in the audience. Now, of course, Elon being one of the most, or the richest person in America, if not the world, has a lot of power. He owns Twitter, all this stuff. However, a lot of people thought this was going to go back on Elon, where Twitter was going to plummet, people were going to be extremely angry, all this other stuff. That's not what happened. Disney stock dropped. Disney Plus subscribers dropped. And Bob Iger's taking the heat. He's taking the heat for this one. Elon Musk told him to go fuck himself because he didn't want to promote or advertise on his platform anymore. And Elon Musk won. And Bob Iger is taking the hit. Disney stock down. Disney Plus subscribers down. Not good. Not good. Not good. We've talked for months and months and months about the bad spot that Disney's been in over the last couple of years. And they're in the worst spot they've been in decades, probably since their creation. Honestly, they're this close to pretty much being sold to Apple next year, which is still insane to me. But they're selling things that they don't need. They're trying to sell ESPN. They're trying to sell some of their networks and all this other stuff so that they can slim down to probably be sold to Apple next year, which would be insane. But they're not in a good spot. And this news is not helping. You don't want to go up against one of the most powerful people in the world. That's for sure. And that's what that guy is. So that's the Elon news. And it's not that big, but it's kind of important towards Disney, which of course is Star Wars at this point. But we got some other news to get into, which is even crazier than that, at least in my opinion. And that is Dave Filoni. I'm loving the emojis, guys. I do appreciate those a whole lot. They make me smile. Matthew says, I read that Iger was angry over the Marvels flopping. Oh, yeah, he was. Big time he was. So the Marvels was the most recent Marvel movie. I still haven't even watched it, and I've been to every premiere, every opening weekend to every Marvel movie. In the Marvels, I still have yet to watch. It came out 3-4 weeks ago. It's been a while. So, I mean, obviously the Marvels had a bad box office, but Bob Iger's blaming it on everybody else but him. He's blaming it on everybody. He said that the movie failed because there wasn't enough Disney executives on the set. That is a quote that he said. That's insane. This guy's losing his mind, and he's the CEO of this company. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad. Billy, what's up, Billy? I understand, Billy. It's still in parentheses next to your name. Why does Blue Beetle flop? Why did Blue Beetle flop? It was amazing. Okay, so I haven't seen Blue Beetle, so I have no idea whether or not it's good or not. I have heard that it's good. I have heard from people that I trust when it comes to movie, like how a movie is. I trust them, and they said it's good. So I have yet to watch it. I plan on watching it eventually, but I just not really interested. Why did it flop? There's a lot more that goes into Blue Beetle flopping than, let's say, Dial of Destiny flopping. It's kind of similar but different at the same time. Blue Beetle flops because DC is fucking a disaster. I mean, it's trying to reboot. That's the first thing. James Gunn came out at the beginning of the year and said they're rebooting, making every movie that came out this year, which was The Flash, Shazam, Blue Beetle, and Aquaman, all irrelevant because they're all getting retconned. They don't care. They literally don't care. They don't matter at all. So that was kind of it. It's coming off the back of The Flash, which sucked. I mean, The Flash was The Flash. It starred a guy who should be in prison. It was a shitty movie, and it was supposed to be like the savior for the DCU, and it did not do that. So Blue Beetle, it wasn't its fault. It really wasn't the movie's fault. It was everything that had to come before it. Yeah. Okay. Ian says George's original plan for the Sith was to they were created by Darth Roon 2,000 years before the prequels. Is that true? I actually don't know that. Tony says, have to drop off. My work calls to me. Catch you later. Thanks, Tony. I appreciate it. I haven't seen it, and it's free on HBO for subscribers. That's true. It is free on HBO, and I still haven't watched it. Catherine says, gotta go. Have fun watching American Symphony. I don't know what that is, but cool. Matthew says, I loved Keaton's return, and that was the only reason I watched it. I'm an old Batman fan. Yeah, Keaton was cool in the movie, but other than that, it was not good. The Suicide Squad was one of the best DC movies. Changed my mind. I won't. You're welcome. I won't. All right, let's dive into this Dave Filoni news, okay? So we got two things to go over, and I'll let you guys decide what we go over first. So there's Dave Filoni and how his new role impacts video games for Star Wars. And then there's Sabine being force sensitive. So give me a 1 into the chat if you want the video game story, or a 2 if you want Sabine being force sensitive. Because Dave Filoni chimed in on this, and it is a good one. 1 or 2? Matthew says, Reeves' cameo was weird though. Not sure what to think of using a dead actor. Oh yes, Christopher Reeves. Yeah, that was weird. That was stupid. That was dumb. That was stupid and dumb in my opinion. And while we're at it, can we get some good cups follow orders in the chat, please? Dun dun! I always think of the newcomers into the channel when I pull out this big ass cup. That's a Rise of Skywalker cup that looks like it's been through some shit. It's pretty funny. I see more 1s than 2s, so we're gonna go with, what was the one? Oh, the video game story. Okay, let's start with the video game news first. I appreciate the good cups follow orders in the chat. I do appreciate it. So how does the recent Dave Filoni news impact Star Wars video games? We talked about Knights of the Old Republic, and now we're going to talk about some other stuff as well. The Star Wars franchise may be best known for its iconic heroes and epic battles, but as many dedicated fans know, the galaxy far, far away wouldn't be what it is without creative names behind it. George Lucas has been both praised and deterred over the years for his creation and expansion of the sci-fi series. But in the years since he penned Star Wars' first script, many other artists have left their mark on the franchise. One such artist is Dave Filoni, Lucas's longtime apprentice and creator of such pivotal series such as The Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. Now Filoni's hard work has resulted in a significant promotion. This was a great opening paragraph, I must say. That hyped up Dave Filoni in a big, big way. Filoni was recently promoted to Chief Creative Officer at Lucasfilm, CCO. After his years spent shaping Star Wars' storytelling, and off the back of Ahsoka's wilding celebrated first season, it's a move that seems like a natural progression for the season's writer and director. And the question now is how this promotion might affect the Star Wars projects, future Star Wars projects. Filoni typically works with the franchise's television projects in the past, but now he's essentially has a hand on all creative decision making, meaning movies, shows, games, comics, everything. It's possible he'll have a hand on video games as well. If that is the case, fans should start to see subtle changes in Star Wars gaming space. So what does that mean? So as Dave Filoni's storytelling could find its way into Star Wars games. Filoni's most known for having Easter eggs, connecting everything. He's like the Dave Filoni of Star Wars. One thing that's important to make clear at the start is that Dave Filoni's potential influence over Star Wars games likely won't have much to do with gameplay. His role pertains to storytelling side of things at Lucasfilm. And this is unlikely to extend to any aspect of game development or publishing. With that said, Filoni's storytelling style and future vision for the Star Wars franchise could very well find its way to future Star Wars games. Obviously, the Star Wars games that go into development are going to be up to him, and what story is being told in that game is going to be up to him as well. Filoni has cemented himself as a multifaceted storyteller. He can craft both extended narratives and short stories. Look at Tales of the Jedi. He tells an incredible story in just a few minutes. He can make them feel as intimate or grand as he likes. Ahsoka is a strong example of the balance, as it covers both a close familiar relation of the Ghost crew from Star Wars Rebels, while also setting up an intergalactic consequences from Grand Admiral Thrawn's return to the galaxy. If he's given opportunities to apply his expertise to Star Wars video games, it could make for some diverse stories to leverage everything the franchise has to offer. A Mandalorian game suddenly feels more possible. So people have been wanting a Mandalorian game for a long, long time. Since The Mandalorian was released, it seems like the perfect place to have a video game. A bounty hunter that goes on bounty hunting missions with possible sidekick of Grogu. Like, that is the perfect idea for a video game. It's not that crazy. So, of all the Star Wars projects that Filoni has worked on over the years, The Mandalorian has proven to be one of the most influential, of course, with Grogu being like one of the biggest things on the planet. Look down, he's probably on your shirt right now. To say it's one of the most popular things to come from the franchise over the last 5 years would be an understatement. And that popularity sparked frantic conversations as a possible Mandalorian game a few years ago, but that was never turned into anything. These rumors have long since faded into the background, but if anyone were to lead a charge on an interactive Mandalorian experience, it would be Filoni. It would likely be long after the Mandoverse movie and other projects were finished, but with Filoni in such a high-ranking position, he would eventually see the video game as a next step to expand Mando's story. I'm interested to see what you guys think about this. Would you want a Mandalorian game? Now, of course, it would come out after the Mando story was probably done, but would you want a Mandalorian game where you get to play as Din Djarin and go on bounty hunting missions? It would probably take place like season 1 of Mando, I would guess, when he's still going on bounty hunting missions, because he's not really a bounty hunter anymore. But what do you guys think? Would you want to play this game? Would this be fun for you? Star Wars would be nothing without the strong creative forces behind it, and Filoni has demonstrated time and time again how invaluable he is to the franchise. As the CCO, his influence will likely find its way to many Star Wars projects over the next few years, and it's possible that could include video games. What that influence would entail exactly is still a mystery, but if his track record is any indication, Filoni could prove to be a boon to future Star Wars video games stories. And then, of course, Jedi Survivor is the latest. Jedi Survivor's on sale for $30. What the hell? If you don't have Jedi Survivor, it's only $30 right now. Go get this game. This game is incredible. But what do we think about that? What do we think about Dave Filoni in Star Wars video games? Because obviously he's a great storyteller, and that would be amazing. But what do we think about a Mando game? And not only that, like, you could go into, like, we don't know what the Heir to the Empire is going to look like, but you could get, like, a Dave Filoni Mando game in the Mandoverse era when Thrawn's attacking. Stuff like that. Maybe you could get a Luke's Jedi Temple game, where Luke's going around the galaxy finding old Sith and Jedi artifacts with a young Ben Solo. That would be cool. All the conflict that he could come into with that would be sick. What's up, Richard? How we doing? Matthew says, and not having Henry Cavill and not making a Man of Steel 2 in Elseworlds is such a dumb decision. Oh yeah, for sure. TC's in shambles. John Groom says, how about an AI-driven Star Wars game where you can create your own what-ifs and play through them? That would be very, very cool. I don't know if that's even something that could happen, but that would be very, very cool. I think open world Star Wars game where you can create your own character and it doesn't really matter what time period it's set in would be very cool. And I hope somebody's working on that right now. I mean, the next year's game, which is Star Wars Outlaws, is going to be open world, but you can't customize your character, which is whatever. It takes place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, so episode 5 and 6, and it looks incredible. The gameplay looks really, really cool and all that stuff, but we'll see. Billy says, I'm back. What's up? Anybody interested in a RoboCop game? I'm not the biggest RoboCop fan. I like the movie, but I don't know. Michael says, I'd be 100% down for a Mando game. Yeah, me too. I would want that 1,000%. What we need, though, is either like a Battlefront 3 or a multiplayer game. Battlefront 3 would be the perfect example of a multiplayer game, but we need a multiplayer game. I love these story-driven games like Jedi Survivor and Jedi Fallen Order. They're fun to play through, and they're cool, whatever. Like, I can stream them now, so that's cool. But I want to play with you guys. I want to play with the Star Wars community. I want to play with my friends. I want to play something that Star Wars that is able to play with your friends, you know? What about the T80 800 game? What is the T800 game? Friggin says the KOTOR game would be, oh wait. Yeah, KOTOR remake would be cool, but that's not going to be for a long, long time, even if it gets made. John Groom says, wouldn't you just have to be Din? Or sorry, you wouldn't just have to be Din. You could choose the Mandalorian with different story. That's true. That would be cool. You get to be your own sort of Mandalorian. T800 is a Terminator game. I didn't know that was a thing. I did not know that was a thing. I did not. All right, let's get into this other Dave Filoni news because I want to know what you guys think about this. This is coming from the same Entertainment Weekly interview that we've been talking about over the last couple of weeks here. This same Entertainment Weekly discussion talked about Dave Filoni's promotion, talked about a possible Ahsoka Season 2, talked about bringing back Anakin, talked about all this stuff. Ray Stevenson and what that meant to Dave Filoni, all that stuff. Now, we're talking about Sabine Wren being able to use the Force. Okay, so I'm going to end this last poll, which was recast or deepfake. Wow. Do you want Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, and Han Solo recast? 54, again, the math is not mathing. 54% of you said no. The majority of you said no. I'm with the majority of you guys there. I don't think they should be recast, but still, 46% said yes. All right, starting a new poll. Do you think Sabine should be able be able to use the Force? Yes or no? Yes or no? Should Sabine have been able to use the Force in the Ahsoka show when she forces the lightsaber to her hand and saves her own skin and then helps push Ezra to the ship? Yes or no? Right off the bat, 50-50 so far. We'll see. We'll see where that ends. But let's read what Dave Filoni had to say. Now, this is coming from a podcast, so we'd have to listen to the whole podcast to get all that he said. But this is kind of the gist of what he said. So Dave Filoni to anyone says anyone can become a Jedi if they receive enough training. So this is what he said. This is the quote. If you pay attention to the films, you understand that the Force is an energy field created by all living things. But it takes time and commitment. Of course, every Jedi has to train as a youngling. They're not going to come in and be extremely Force sensitive immediately. And even if they are Force sensitive, they can't use the Force immediately. Look at even the Chosen One himself, a young Anakin Skywalker. He didn't come into the Phantom Menace Force pushing things around. That's not what happened. He had years of training. Of course, he became very powerful with the Force, but it took him a while. Every youngling who existed at the Star Wars Temple had to go through training to become very powerful with the Force. Some were just more gifted than others, and some just had more training than others. However, the Force lives in all things. It's almost one of the first lines that Obi-Wan tells to Luke when he's training him. In A New Hope, the very first Star Wars movie, the first thing that George Lucas established with the Force is that it lives in everything, and everyone can use it if they have the right time, commitment, and training. So I ask again, do you guys think that Sabine Wren should be able to use the Force? Let's see. I love this debate. I love this debate because you can really go either way. You can go either way. Because of course, you could have people who are like, of course she can, blah, blah. And you have people who are like, no, she never could use the Force, blah, blah, blah. But you have civilized conversations like we're about to have right now, where there's a possibility where some people can see it one way and some people can see it the other way, and both can kind of be right. So let's see what you guys have to say about this. Because Dave Filoni's quote is, if you pay attention to the films, which is what George Lucas created, you understand that the Force is an energy field created by all living things, but it takes time and commitment to master, of course, or to be able to use. So that's what Dave Filoni said. Now I want to know what you guys think about this. She is a Mandalorian, not Force sensitive. Good point, Billy, but let me counter that one. She's a descendant of Tar Vizsla. Tar Vizsla being the only Force sensitive or only Jedi Mandalorian of their kind. But the only reason that there's been only one Jedi Mandalorian is because of the Mandalorian way. The Mandalorians, as a Kree, are almost the exact opposite as the way of the Jedi. The way of the Jedi is no attachments. It's the peaceful peacekeeper people. Peacekeepers, to say the least. And the Mandalorians are the exact opposite. They're warriors, which their whole Kree is fighting, and everything's about family. They're like Vin Diesel out there. They're all about family. They're all about relationships and all this other stuff. So they're the exact opposite of the Jedi. That's why only one Mandalorian ever became a Jedi, which was Tar Vizsla, because he was extremely Force sensitive. That's really the only reason he was a Jedi. He was just that good. And of course, he made the Darksaber. That was 1,000 years ago, probably more, give or take. And now, Sabine Wren is a descendant of Tar Vizsla. But not only that, the Mandalorian way has been altered big time, especially for Sabine, who went off and trained with Kanan, went off and trained with Ahsoka, really isn't really a Mandalorian anymore. Now, she is, of course, still a Mandalorian technically, but she's been a rebel more than she's been a Mandalorian. She's trained to be a Jedi for a very big portion of her life. And now she's the second Mandalorian Jedi. Let's see. John Groom says, I was against it at first, but I have come around. Anakin could pod race, which as a human, you need the Force. That's true. The pod racing, you would definitely need the Force, or you could pod race as a human, you just wouldn't win, or you wouldn't be good, because it's so fast and you need the Force to help you win, pretty much. Billy says, it's not that easy. Well, it's not that easy. Sabine's been training for 15 years. 15 years. So 15 years it took her to use the Force. It took Luke about an hour. She trained with Kanan in Rebels, of course. She trains with Ahsoka off screen in between Rebels and Ahsoka, and then she trains with Ahsoka again on screen in Ahsoka. And it's not only until 15 years later when she has the ability to. She gave up halfway through. Well, in the finale of Ahsoka, she asks, "Have you been keeping up with your training?" And she says, "Yes." John Groom says, but because Sabine can be taught to use the Force doesn't mean your local death stick dealer can be trained. You need a certain level of skill and discipline to stand any chance. That's true. Obviously, I think what he's more saying is everybody in the galaxy is born with the Force flowing through them. It doesn't mean they can use the Force, but with the proper training and time and commitment to worshiping the Force, worshiping for lack of a better word, the Force, then you can use it. Billy says, and Luke was the son of the chosen one. Okay, well, I just told you that Sabine was a descendant of a Mandalorian Jedi. What about Broom Boy? What about Broom Boy? Damn it, this is empty. Let's see where this poll's at. 67% of you say no. That's crazy. That is crazy to me. That is crazy to me. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. All right, let's get to this giveaway. Enough of this. We're getting to the giveaway. It's time. It's giveaway time. Let's do it. All right, hang on. Wait, what is this? Delete. Okay. We're bringing back the wheel. We are bringing back the wheel. Okay, so let's see how many members we got. Broom Boy would have been picked up by the Jedi Order. True. Yes, he would have. All right, let's start this giveaway up. Let's see how many members we have currently. Let's see. Again, if you want to join this giveaway and steal it from somebody last second, that would be hilarious. But all it is 99 cents, and you can become a member, support the channel, and of course get instant access to giveaways. This is the second of 5 giveaways every Saturday until Christmas. We're doing a giveaway, and today's giveaway is this awesome, cool pop figure advent calendar. Very, very cool. So we are at 15 members right now. 15 total members right now. Where's the list of total members? Where is that? Oh, here it is. So these are our members. Let's zoom in on it. Our incredible members right here. 15 of you guys, if you see your name on this list, you have a 1 in 15 chance of winning this awesome, cool advent calendar. And let's spin the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's spin that wheel. 1 in 15 chance. All right, can I get some spin that wheels in the chat? Spin that wheel. Spin that wheel. Hang on, let me read the chat real quick before I keep going. Andy's Cats in THX Cinema Lab. What's up, Andy? How we doing? Says, I wouldn't put the actor Star Wars into a dog cat charity rescue shelter. Star Wars Disney dead? I wouldn't put that actor Star Wars into a dog cat charity rescue shelter. Star Wars Disney dead. Been there, seen it all. 1977. I count myself real fan. I think I just had a stroke reading that, Andy. Sorry. Broom Boy will go dark and become Darth Swifter. There you go, friggins. That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, spin that wheel. Spin that wheel. Oh, shit. Spin that wheel. Let's spin the wheel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get a winner for this advent calendar. Pop figure advent calendar. Who's going to win? You have a 1 in 17 chance. One being at the beginning would be, one is your pal Joe, all the way up to 15, who is Salty Texas Ranger. If you see your name on here, you have a 1 in 15 chance to win. Let's spin that wheel. It's Kevin Brew. Kevin, if you're in the chat, hit me up. If you're not in the chat and you're watching this on the replay or wherever you're watching this, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, Discord, wherever you want. Hit me up. I'll send it your way as soon as you hit me up. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I believe he's one of the ones who got gifted a membership last week, I believe. So Kevin, if you're watching right now, or if you're watching on the playback or anything, hit me up. I'll get that sent out to you as soon as you hit me up. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. All right. Wait, what? Yes, congrats to Kevin. Big, big win for Kevin. Is there any other Star Wars news that we had to go over today? I feel like I'm forgetting something. What did I write down over here? We went over that. We went over the Adam Driver stuff. We went over the Sabine stuff. We went over the Elon stuff. We went over the giveaway stuff. We went over that. Okay. I think we went over everything. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we get on out of here? What do we think? This poll is still very surprising to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. 55% of you don't think that Sabine should be able to use the Force, which just baffles me. Baffles me to this day. Crazy, 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 crazy. Crazy, 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 crazy. All right, congratulations to Kevin. Huge win for the Advent calendar. Awesome, awesome. Very, very cool. Heard there would be Bad Batch news. Yes, Bad Batch news. Thank you, John. I almost got out of there without talking about the Bad Batch news. Let's talk about the Bad Batch news. All right, let's do it. Bad Batch, Bad Batch. Bad Batch Season 3 gets exciting update. Here we go. So the Bad Batch Season 3. When are we getting it? What's going to happen? Here we go. Lucasfilm posted a new update for the Bad Batch Season 3 and giving us new insights when Season 3 could arrive on Disney+. Set in the aftermath of Revenge of the Sith. All right, we know what this is. We know what Bad Batch is. So when will Season 3 be released? Jennifer Corbett, executive producer and head writer of Star Wars The Bad Batch, confirmed on X, formerly known as Twitter, that Season 3 final mix session is done. This is what she said. Toasting to the final mix session of The Bad Batch. What a pleasure to watch David W. Collins and team in action. Can't wait for you all to see what's in store for the final season. I can't wait either. I'm excited for the Bad Batch. I really am. I'm not it's not my most anticipated show of next year. I think Acolyte's higher, Skeleton Crew's higher, maybe even Tales of the Jedi's higher, even Andor's higher. It's probably the lowest thing, honestly, on my list. However, I'm still excited for this show. The way that Season 2 ended was a cool cliffhanger. Don't get me wrong. Now that sound mixing is complete, post-production for The Bad Batch's third season appears to be drawing to a close, meaning fans could be seeing a teaser sooner rather than later. But even if Season 3 is ready for promotion, the question is where it fits in Disney Plus's 2024 schedule. So if this show's almost done, then when's it going to come out? That's the biggest question. Now, The Bad Batch, I've always thought would come out like early to mid 2024. Probably in that sort of April, May-ish is when I'd see it releasing. But maybe it's sooner than expected, especially with the Skeleton Crew news that we went over last time. But let's find out. Currently, actually, at Star Wars Celebration this year, was there a Bad Batch 3 season 3 trailer released? Not obviously released to the public, but I think people at Star Wars Celebration saw a trailer for this. Could be wrong, but maybe. Currently, January is already packed with Marvel Studios' Echo and new episodes of Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Meanwhile, X-Men 97, another new animated series, is set to release early in 2024 as well. To spread the wealth and allow each show its due, fans shouldn't expect the Bad Batch Season 3 to premiere until late February 2024 at its very earliest. A spring 2024 release window is the safest bet at this point. Like I said, probably April, May-ish. It's also worth noting that unlike live-action Star Wars Disney Plus shows, The Bad Batch features 16 episodes in the season. And while some weeks include multi-episode releases, an early 2024 release debut is likely to avoid much overlap with other upcoming Star Wars shows, like the live-action ones, like Andor, Skeleton Crew, and Acolyte. So what will happen with The Bad Batch Season 3? Considering how far The Bad Batch is into production, and with 2023 drawing to a close, fans may be hearing an official release date from Lucasfilm and Disney Plus in the upcoming weeks, before the end of the year, which would be insane. Since Season 2 ended with the death of Tech, is Tech still alive? You tell me. A key member of the Clone Force 99, the capture of Omega, and the reveal of another clone sister. By the way, that was kind of just thrown in there last second, and people kind of forget about that. The scientist lady at Mount Tantus is another cloned sister of Omega. That's crazy. Season 3 is expected to open with some significant as well as revealing episodes. Well, here's the thing. Mount Tantus, Dave Filoni has said that it's going to be, he didn't say it would be in live action, but he said that the stuff that's being set up with Mount Tantus is going to have an effect on live action stuff in the Mandoverse. So I think Mount Tantus will eventually make its live action debut, probably because of Thrawn, and he might be going there. But Mount Tantus is going to be the main sort of location in this third season, with Omega there and Crosshair there, and the others trying to save the two of them from that location. So it'll be interesting to see where that all ends, because The Bad Batch Season 3 is the last season of The Bad Batch. It's the final season. And none of these characters, Omega, Hunter, Wrecker, Echo, none of them are in anything else. So they're all either going to have to die off or have some explanation as to where they are during the events of the original trilogy and The Mandalorian and all these other projects. They're going to have some explanation, because they're not in Rebels either. That's an animated show as well that involves Rex and other clones as well. So, but the biggest question is whether The Bad Batch's third season will be its last, and if so, whether Lucasfilm is planning on staging it for another animated spinoff. Well, that's not a question, because Lucasfilm has said that it's the last season. That's been confirmed. However, whether or not it sets up the next animated spinoff remains to be seen. That could be the case. I think we'll have to see about that, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really give us much hope about a release date, but we'll see. Bad Batch, I know. Bad Batch is pretty cool. Bring a teaser. More hyped for Bad Batch than Tales of the Jedi than anything else. Really. Friggins is on that animated grind right there. I'm excited for the live action stuff, I think, a little bit more. Just because of its, relevance, I guess. Bad Batch is cool, but the relevance of the story is not all there, Hell yes, Tech lives. I don't know. I don't know if Tech lives. I go back and forth all the time. He could have lived, but he might have died. I mean, his death was so impactful that bringing him back would kind of make it less impactful, The EU idea was that you can't clone Force sensitives. It was more like it's very difficult to, because in the extended universe or legends, it's happened multiple times. Joris Sabaoth is a clone of Joris Sabaoth. Luke Skywalker is a clone of Luke Skywalker. There's been Force-sensitive clones in the past, for sure. Andy's Cats says, I have THS, then I might be a Star Wars fan, or maybe once was. It's divided percent of old and new generation fans. I don't watch any TV anymore, at least all the Disney Plus shows, only Laserdisc to get the flashbacks. Too bad what happened with ILM evident the world's first TAS dub stage. I think I understand what you're saying. You use all the old technology, you don't watch any of the new stuff. I think I get it. Sure. Yes. But that's the Bad Batch news. All right, I'm going to get on out of here now. I really have to pee, and it's been almost 2 hours on this stream. It's a longer one. Huge shout out to Kevin. Again, Kevin, hit me up so I can get this out to you as soon as possible. It is an advent calendar. Also, if you don't want it, hit me up so that we can do a secondary giveaway. Huge congrats to Kevin for winning that, and thanks for the support, of course, to all the members. Another giveaway next Saturday. Obviously, live streams every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, and videos in between. You guys are the absolute best. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the best community in the Star Wars fandom still to this day. Still, even though I disagree with you guys on the Sabine Force thing, but, you know, what are you going to do? You guys are the absolute best. Smash a like on this video if you haven't yet. I don't know what you're waiting for. Hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show up in the recommended feed of yours. Watch out for a video, maybe not tomorrow, but Monday, of course. And live streams, of course, Tuesday, Thursday, all that other stuff. And may the Force be with you. Always. Where's that freaking button? Did you guys see this? We got the holiday thing going on in this. See? They're all wearing Christmas hats. They're all wearing Christmas hats. What a great stream. What a great show. You guys are the absolute best. I appreciate every single one of you. I hope you have a great rest of your evening, a great rest of your lives. And good night, everybody.